So Internet of Things, the physical world and the cyber world are coming together. So the Internet is being looked at for a variety of applications which we never thought is possible. Internet in car, which is very likely going to happen very soon. So there are a lot of topics where the physical world and the cyber world are coming very close to each other. So in this scenario, the CEO operates in this scenario. So his charter has moved to being global, to leverage technology. Speed is a core value for him. Managing risks and managing complaints on a very proactive basis is a hygiene factor. This is a CEO charter in the current world. So how does it affect the CIO on a day-to-day basis? What will be his agenda going forward? What are the questions that he will face? You know, if the CEO decides to acquire or decides to go global, his IT solutions have to scale up to be global. If you acquire a company, can you bring them onto your IT systems in a shortest possible time? Can you optimize your landscape very quickly that you have results around the world at your fingertip? So this was not a question in the past for small companies, but today there are companies who are very small acquiring companies in Germany, they are acquiring companies in US, and they need this. So there's a new topic which is coming onto the table of CIOs. Can IT create new sales, marketing, service channels? This is not a topic for sales and marketing anymore. It's very easy to be on Facebook, or it's very easy to be on Twitter. So can I create the sales channels through these social media sites or other means? So this is a pure play bottom line, top line impact which is generated by the CIOs. This is, if CIO doesn't do it, the marketing and sales guys would do it. So probably the IT budget would shift from CIO to sales and marketing directly, because it's very easy to move on to these sites. This is essential. Data analytics, we saw how important it is. The tools are absolutely essential. Can IT enable a very ethical and sustainable enterprise? You know, this is absolutely a hygiene factor. Ethical would mean preventing frauds. Sustainable would be the green initiatives that Anand spoke about. So how do we ensure that, what kind of IT infrastructure that I can build for my enterprise to ensure that we are safe on these topics? Was that a charter maybe a few years back? It might not be, but today it's absolutely essential. So compare this with the CIO topics that were there on a day-to-day basis: cost, return on investments, vendor selection, vendor management. How can I meet the business requirements? Now you are changed to you create business. You're not only a support now, you actually create business. So the bottom line is, CIO has a direct impact on bottom line and top line. So his agenda has completely changed. So typically the CIO, the biggest topic on the minds of CIO is the ERP implementation. Has it remained so? I would say the charter has changed beyond ERP. I'm almost calling ERP as infrastructure. The way you are looking at cloud as infrastructure or any other topics, mobility is more or less infrastructure. So I'm saying ERP is going to be your infrastructure. It's already, because it's a transactional system. So what are you looking at beyond ERP? So the trends that we spoke about are very clear: the mobility, the cloud, optimization, compliance, the green initiatives. So most of these topics go much beyond the basic transaction that ERP would offer. So which means you're moving, your agenda is transactional to intelligence. So ERP is absolutely an infrastructure. So ERP is no longer looked at a topic of huge strategic initiative, because you need to have an ERP. So it's basic infrastructure. I don't want to repeat the technology trends. We've spoken enough about this. So in this world, what is a new relation, interplay between the partner, CIO, and the product. Can your partner relate your vision? Or can he operate, or is he operating only at transaction level, or at an application level, or at a project level? If you had a plan, if your agenda or if your charter is something which is running, let's say in the medium term, 5 years, and this is something which is creating core business value for your enterprise, is your partner able to understand this? Can he relate to your enterprise vision? Can he speak the language what your CEO is speaking? So this new dimension has to be looked at very carefully, because the partner is someone who bridges you from the actual technology into the enterprise vision. So the transaction versus transformation. So you expect transformation from partners, but typically you land up with transactions from your partners. So you need to look at someone who can relate to your CEO vision. And one of the very often heard stories around ERP is that it's more or less, most of the times, it fails. It's not working for me, we invested a lot of money, and it's not delivering what it's supposed to deliver. So either the product is wrong, or the partner is wrong, or the approach was wrong. So the products are more or less standardized. So it's very difficult to judge where the problem lies between the partner and the approach. But typically, we go for, the reason why I said ERP is infrastructure is that even when you go for an implementation of ERP, probably you tend to think that your company is the most unique company in that particular business. While the product companies have moved forward and standardized most of the features, most of the processes, so you tend to start from a position where you reinvent probably for 20% advantage or even less, and that would make an investment on ERP completely disproportionate to what you expect out of it. Cohabitation of multi-vendor products. You would hear multiple vendors speak about their products probably later in the day, but today the technologies support that these products can coexist. You don't have to throw away an old product and bring a new product. They could coexist with each other, and still you can create what we spoke about. You can leverage cloud, you can leverage mobility, and you can leverage ERP together. You can make them work together, independent of the vendor, independent of the device. When you also look at the product, the choice of products, you also need to question, does the product have a roadmap which is in alignment with the technology changes that we spoke about? The 4 trends that we spoke about were mobility, data analytics, the cloud, and the social media. The product that you choose, do they have a roadmap for these topics? If you invest in a product that doesn't have a roadmap in these technology drivers, probably you're going to be obsolete very soon. It may deliver you very short-term benefit of cost, but in a medium term, you would be reinventing all the time. So if you have to leverage some of the technologies that we spoke in the first half of today, you need to make some of the topics that you spend 80% of the time today as your infrastructure. So ERP is one such topic. So here, the interplay between the product, the partner, business, and the product, has changed, from transaction to transformation. So the shared vision, the partner who could share your vision is very important. So the summary is that technology is leveraged to create business, not just to support business. Your partner is an extended CIO for you. So he's not just someone who comes in for a transaction. You have to use a partner, or you have to demand from your partner to be an extended CIO arm. Co-create with your customers, and vendors. This is the product view. The product cannot be created in isolation. It has to be created along with the customers. Thank you for your attention. Thank you so much.